Greetings, gamers. Tonight we have something a little bit special. I've been putting this together for the last couple of days, and what I have here is a very special game for a Halloween episode of Awesome Ross that I wanted to do. I had the idea a few days ago, and then I decided to put this all together. And to celebrate, if you can't tell, I'm in full costume. Gangster regalia. From head to toe. To celebrate. Since it is Halloween. I'm going to try to do this video. Well, actually, to be honest, I tried once before, but I had kind of a little error that came up. But from now on, we're going to try to do this in one take. And I may have to split it into 2 parts or more and put up a part at a time on YouTube. But what we're going to play tonight is Parody World Monster Party, which is a Japanese prototype of a US game, which I have, called Monster Party. If you're not familiar with Monster Party, it's a very esoteric game. The closest analogous comparison I could probably come up with to compare it to is maybe Castlevania, but it's even a bit more eccentric and odd than Castlevania is. It's kind of a mashup of parodies of classic movie monsters and ghost stories, particularly Japanese ghost stories, which kind of got changed for the US version, but we'll get more into that later, as well as pop culture references. There's no other game quite like it. It is a beloved game in my NES collection, and I was thrilled when the prototype of the Japanese version got released a couple of years ago. I've kind of messed around with the prototype version a little bit, but this is even something a little bit different than the regular prototype, which I've got on my computer here. I'm emulating with FCEUX for various reasons, but there's the regular Famicom prototype, but then this is a translated version, which translates the Japanese prototype into English, and also re-enables an unused boss in the 7th level. But once again, we'll kind of get more into that later. But let's go ahead and boot it up and get started, and we'll do a Let's Play of Parody World Monster Party. Here we go. Gotta love a title screen dripping in blood. That was one of the things that got changed in the US version, incidentally. The US version changed the blood to green slime pouring out of the monster's mouth. But, let's get started. I will be using save states, just to make the process not so miserable for everyone involved. Plus I need to get at least the first part of this up by midnight to celebrate Halloween, so I don't have much more time to fool around. This intro is pretty cool. I don't know, there's just something kind of sentimental and poignant about it. It's almost kind of like one of those movies that like you loved as a kid, which you may not have the nostalgic attachment necessarily if you didn't play it when you were a kid, but kind of like, you know, like The Never-Ending Story or Legend, or even like some Disney movies like Robin Hood that had like those sad or melancholy moments. Something about this intro is kind of mysterious and melancholy at the same time. I think partly because of the music. But I don't know, there's just something, it's like you don't quite understand what's going on, and that's part of the fun and magic to it. It's even a bit more charming in the US version, because it's kind of badly translated and there's some funny dialogue in there. This is actually pretty well translated. It's been you know, translated by a different person, obviously, for this fan translation of the Japanese prototype. But there's just something kind of unexplainable about it. Also, the characters have different names in the Japanese and US version. See, he's called Viryu in this version, but in the US version he's called Bert. And Hiroshi is called Mark. And instead of having the, I think it's katakana on his shirt, it says Hiroshi, it says M. It's just got a letter M for Mark. A lot of other stuff was changed in the localization, which is one of the things that makes this game so interesting, is they changed so many things about it for the US, but it's still the same core experience. I like how he lands on the planet and the first person he finds, he's like, "You're perfect! Let's do this!" You gotta love his boundless enthusiasm. And Hiroshi's like, "Hey, now hold on just a second, I just met you." Veryu's like, whatever, it'll be fine. Come on, let's just do this. See, you've even got a weapon. Right there. I knew you were the guy. You're the guy. Hey, now hold on a second. This is just sports equipment. No, come on. You know, you're the guy. We're doing this. Now let's go. I love that part. It's kind of almost like Peter Pan-esque. This is one of the moments where you realize kind of early on, if you couldn't already tell by the title screen dripping in blood, that this game is kind of strange. I'll just merge and then, you know, we'll wade through this skeleton-filled pool of blood and get started on the first level. And here we are on Viryu's planet. The start of an exciting adventure with Psychic Yakuza. And you might not have been able to tell, but that was a pill. You can collect pills to change between Viryu and Hiroshi. And we will take a break right here, and I'll get the mouse off of the screen, and let's do a quick save state. Actually, let's do